Welcome to Astaria, gentlemen. I will not lie. The chances of your survival are small. Some may even turn against your friends as living corpses.
Hello, Strat fans. What's going on? It's me, Colonel Strat, the strategy extraordinaire. And today we're going to start with our first Lord Guide. So, by diving into it, I thought nothing would be better than starting off with the Chad himself, the glorious golden Chad of Warhammer, Balthasar Gelt. So, Balthazar has a lot of interesting faction effects that make him a very interesting lord to play, and very overpowered as well, if you can manage to do his faction white. So, the first thing you'll notice is he's got 10% armor to all his armies. So that means, like, great swords here already automatically have 105 armor because they have 10 extra armor. So it does help a lot to have that extra armor boost for just having Gelt as the faction leader. So that does help a lot, and that's just, every army has that. He does get half off his battle wizards, which can come in handy, and more capacity for battle wizards. But his lord effect is what really makes it insane with a certain type of unit. See, he has this recruit rank and magic reduction for lord metal and battle wizards, but his missile strength 10% for artillery units. It doesn't seem like much, but it really adds up when you get into these insane artillery units. And he starts with some decent units too. So I'm going to show you exactly how you would approach his campaign and what type of units you would prioritize building. And then ultimately I'll give you some army compositions for best use with him. And then we'll wrap things up. So that's how this guide's going to go, and let's get right into his campaign.
Might and magic are mine to come.
Alright, Gelt. Alright, Balthazar Gelt. Let's get it. Let's go on and explain this. So, just like I explained in my Empire vid, Balthazar follows a lot of the same rules as Karl, but he does have a little bit of a difference with his army composition and his start position. So he starts a little bit south, right here in Piltdorf, and he starts with a fort already, one of his. So already he starts with just a very better position, a more secure position. So your first port of call will be to subjugate, of course, this greenskin incursion here, and then that will consolidate this province. And basically what you're going to want to do is just try to appease the elector counts above you. They're going to start neutral. And then they might get attacked as well. And you're going to want to look out for Scrag the Slaughterer right down here. So, first things first, you want to either put him in there or send him abroad, whichever one you prefer with your heroes. You snipe out this army, get a little bit of XP, a little bit of gold, and then Gelt has leveled up. I usually get Searing Doom because that helps a lot in the early game, because it's a nice, easy damage spell that the Lore of Metal gives you. You could go into Metal Shifting, which gives you a really nice passive that increases base weapon damage and armor-piercing weapon damage to allies around Gelt if you keep them up in the front. But I usually go with that and Route Marcher just so I can, get around the map a little bit more. And you'll probably get another... You'll be able to launch another attack and take out Steingart really easily too. Again, another easy victory, real easy. And then there you go, you got that province secured. I usually put the garrison, like the basic barracks buildings, I usually put them in these ones. So I usually switch them out. And then for what commandment you want to go for it, you want to go for Council of Burgermeisters, because that is going to set you up to where you're going to get a lot of growth and be able to develop this province, because this is going to be your home province, Solent. So you are the Elector Count of Solent. The first technology you should go for would be either State Troop Standards and get the infantry armor, or you could go for Tithe Tributes or Assembly Line, or for Gelt, firing drills would be good as well as the more missile strength, because you get a bonus missile strength for your artillery that you start with. But it's usually a toss-up between investing in infantry or war machines. And I usually go infantry just because I'm more infantry focused, but you guys could go either or go economy. But you will want to do, once you get because let me just bring that up. Once you get one of either the state issued armor or the multiple artillery barrels, then you'll want to do tithe to get that growth, that juicy growth you need. Maybe even do some commodity trading or go to grain silos. You'll get a little bit more income coming in, but you're going to want to spam that growth because the Empire suffers in the early game. So you're going to want to spam that growth as much as possible. Now you start with Fort Seoul. So an Empire Fort has a really beefy garrison, so you don't really have to worry about it. Now I use a mod that beefs up the garrisons even more, but even without the mod, it still is a decent garrison that's going to keep most of the enemy out. And all you're going to have to worry about is like marauding orcs, and you have like artillery in this garrison for tier 1. Wait, no, you don't. I think it's tier 2. It's tier 3 that you start getting artillery. But you still have like crossbows, handgunners, quite a bit of missiles that you can defend the castle from. So I wouldn't really worry about the south right now, other than Scrag, of course, because Scrag's going to cause an issue. Plus Sylvania might too. Vlad is going to be pretty much unchecked because Templehof always crumbles. It always does. I've never had a point where it doesn't crumble for me. And it's just, he always starts steamrolling over Averland or Stirland, and you're going to want to, build up. As for elector counts, like I said, you're at the bottom right here. Try to keep them as appeased as possible. And then, of course, you have Karl Franz here. You want to keep him appeased. And you can use electoral machinations. A lot of times, I don't really use this because you want to save up the prestige. But you're not gonna be getting a whole lot of authority because you're Gelt. You're gonna get a little bit of. You'll still get some dilemmas, but not as much as Karl does because he has that unifier trait. Alright, so now the second level up, I'll usually do metal shifting and either get the Golden Hound, his Vortex, or Glittering Robe, which is the armor increase. Plague of Rust is okay too, but you're not going to be facing a lot of armored enemies right now, so it's not going to really help. I'm going to do Glittering Robe because that's going to be good. And then my captain has ranked up as well. I'll always get Training and Blade Master. Blade Master to increase his melee attack, and Training to help train my units. Now you'll notice that his great swords 105, 40 for his swordsman and all that, so it's already really good. And that counts for his mortars too. But his mortars have 115 armored, 115 damage to start with too. And the first thing you'll want to recruit, of course, is a few swordsmen. I usually do swordsmen and archers. You can do the Solend, the Eldred's guard, but I usually don't because they're so expensive. They're going to eat up your economy really easily. And then for you want to do that for that as well. And then for diplomacy, like I said, you'll start with a little bit more because of Black Venom. You'll be able to easily get a treaty with Averland here, and just try to build up relations with as many Empire factions as possible because they're going to be your best buddies. even though he can handle himself pretty easily, they're going to be your best buddies to help you deal with the enemy. So that pretty much covers his start and what you're going to want to do. So just to recap over here, you want to keep peace with these guys. Maybe if like Wissenland, sometimes they attack you, you could deal with them, but you will lose some authority and prestige doing it. But keep a lookout for Sylvania, and of course Scrag's probably going to be your biggest enemy because he's going to wreck the border princes, and he'll probably come over into your land. You could go out to beat him, or or you could stay and wait for him to come. But the enemies, the only type of forces you'll face if you don't choose to expand out of Solent is the orcs that'll try to push through the gate here. So you might want to camp Balthazar at the gate so you can gain some more XP, or go after Scrag, because you're not going to be really fighting unless you want to fight the dwarves or the Empire itself, which again is not really ideal in the Empire because there's so many incursions that happen that's easier just to wait for the incursions to happen and then you'll get your levels. So that's really the strategy for Gelt, because he has a really good starting position that he can get consolidated, build up a decent force, and can ignore just the trash rushing that a lot of other factions have to do. Like, Karl has to constantly recruit and be on the lookout because he's got so many enemies coming from all around. But in Solent, there's not many enemies coming around because you have 2 electors. Now, like I said, Wissenland has 2 fealty, so they might declare war on you in some campaigns, but it's very unlikely. Averland, pretty unlikely, and so Stirland too. But again, if Vlad power charge Zerg rushes all of Slovenia, he'll start attacking these 2. So it does help to ally yourself with Marius and taking down Vlad. But of course, you got to look out for Scrag down here because he's going to cause some damage. And he kind of, again, his AI kind of goes everywhere, but usually I end up having to deal with him because he'll come around the Fort Sol, or he'll come through Blackfire Pass and take that, and then we'll have to deal with him. So that pretty much covers his campaign. Let's look at some army compositions for old Balthazar boy. So by this point in the campaign, we will have gotten a couple technologies and sallied out from Fort Sol to attack this greenskin settlement here occupying this dwarf hold. So as you see, we got some Eldred's Guard. I've recruited up some halberdiers, a whole bunch of swordsmen, some crossbowmen, and I've kept my cannons. I haven't gotten access to my cannons yet, not until tier 2. And then Balthazar will have an insane overhaul of his stuff. He's only rank 3 because we've only been sitting in Solent just collecting stuff. And then he's got his Dread Setter, which is his special rune thing, and we're going up against like a pretty even, I'd say an even fight. So let's go into this into this battle. Now, if you notice, because we did get the infantry armor upgrade, we have 120 armor on our great swords, 95 on our Eldred's Guard, 55 on halberdiers, 55 on the swordsmen. We have a decent armor stat, so it does help. Even though we did get a little bit of we did get that cannon technology as well, which means our cannons are buffed a little bit too, on top of Balthazar's buffs. So let's show you this battle. Alright, and here we are inside the battle. So like I said, like all siege battles, it's going to be a bit of a slog, but with our buffs we get from Balthazar, it's going to help. We get a whole bunch of armor from Balthazar, and he does have his rune fang, but he doesn't really have anything else other than that in metal shifting, which does happen when he casts a spell, but he doesn't have any spells, so it's probably not going to activate right now. I think he actually does have a couple spells though. Yeah, he's got Glittering Robe, he's got Searing Doom, and he's got Plague of Rust. So that's the one he has. Doesn't have his big Vortex one, But he does have that, and we have a little bit of Winds of Magic. Let's try to channel it. Yes. There we go. Got a little bit extra Winds of Magic. So, let's go into the battle, and of course we're going to send our guys up top. Get up there. And then we're going to have these guys fire on that. The mortars are going to fire on the orcs inside, or the goblin rock lobbers, I think. And then we're going to have the spearmen go after the gate. Balthazar himself, not going to do much. If the cannons can destroy that, that'd be great. Doubt it, though. We're going to take some casualties. It's just known that we're going to take some casualties, because that's just how it is. Yeah, just get those guys in there. The cannons can destroy these. If, of course, we don't take it first. And then we'll do a little Searing Doom to do a little damage. Yep, a little bit of damage to them. That does a whole lot of damage. Wow. We'll do Glittering Robe on our great swords, which are taking a beating right now. Oh, I think that damaged him doing that spell. Oh, right, we overcasted it. It damaged him. Gotta be careful when overcasting, fellas. Alright, you're just gonna have to focus fire as much as possible. Yep, and we'll send him through the gate as well. Okay, let's get yeah, Searing Doom on these catapults. Do a little damage on the catapults. There we go. Searing Doom is probably one of the best spells to start with in the game, because you just do so much with it. Alright, we'll get these guys over here. Deal with those orc boys. Let's deal with them. I don't think the cannons are going to be able to do anything. That's okay. Alright, let's do some more Searing Doom on these orcs coming in. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Get these swordsmen down. I just need to get those rock lobbers out of the field. The more Searing Dooms I have, the better. There we go. They're gone now. Now I can focus on dealing with those. Yep, get off the walls. That's the thing, you gotta get off the walls. Yeah, and we're constantly taking fire from enemy battlements and all that, but you know, let's see. Deal with that. Yeah, and battlements over here too, taking fire from it. Yeah, that's done. They're done. All right. We're gonna have to deal with some units back here. Yeah, move up a little bit.
Yes, sir. The Empire endures.
Yeah, let's deal with these guys. We're broken through. Yeah, we're doing a little bit more damage now. We've broken through.
Expody.
Yep, there we go. We're doing good. Doing good now. But we are losing this front because they're just piling up.
Crossbowmen, bring it down. We serve the Emperor. Launch for Heldenhammer. The Sigma fire. Our weapons are yours. Now! War! Yes, sir! Now! Understood? For Heldenhammer! Sigma! By Ulrich Scott! Missiles at the ready!
Yeah, they're doing what they can, but we're starting to kill them. Yeah, but sieges become like a clustercluck really easily. That's why I don't like sieges, because they just become such a cluster.
Sigma! Preservers! Halberdiers!
Yeah, they just become a big old clustercluck. Because once the enemy starts retreating, then oh boy, they're gonna retreat, you know? And then we start losing units too, so you know, starts becoming too much. And they just, you know, pepper us with archers, you know.
Crossbows ready, General! Withdraw! For Heldenhammer! Get them! The Empire endures! Sigma commands!
And by the time you come around to actually get them, you know, that's when the enemy just retreats, you know, like that, you know. So the enemy retreats when you come around to actually get them, and they just can get away with killing multiple of your units, and that's not going to happen. You gobblers are going to die. You cost me a lot of men today. Come on, let's kill these gobos. Yeah, they're about half dead. So yeah. So that was a tier 1. Like I said, a lot more squishy of units. And again, showing it as a siege battle is not really doing it justice. But I couldn't really find a good battle to show you in this early on the campaign. So I had to do a siege. I'm hoping that tier 2 will be a land battle so I can show you just how broken they can be when it's, you know, even odds. But still, we took very few casualties on most units that should have taken more because we had such a big armor buff. And that's why Gelt is such a good character to have, because his armor buff can be used to buff up many different strategies. But like I said, on the open field of battle, he really shines when he gets access to his artillery. So, I'll conclude this battle, and we'll come back again with a tier 2. And here we are with our tier 2 army. So, we've picked up a few more levels for Balthazar, so we have a little bit more skills applied. As you can see, we have a little bit more armor now. Pretty much every stat is getting boosted by Balthazar now because he's got more in his red line. So he's able to buff up his troops and make them a lot better. And he picked up the Caragor Great Swords because we just reached tier 3. When you just reach tier 3, you can recruit Great Swords. So I was able to consolidate and build up enough Great Swords. We don't have handgunners yet because I didn't get tier 3 in my major settlement. It takes a lot more in a major settlement, so I can't get handgunners yet. And so I had huntsmen, and they're okay. They're not as good, but they provide a little bit of missile. But they're not what's our chief missiles. Our chief missiles are our mortar teams here. These mortar teams are going to do a whole lot more damage, and we still have the cannons. We still have the halberdiers with a little bit of rank on them, and some of the great swords have a little bit of rank as well. And then of course we have our Empire Captain. He's ranked up quite a bit, and Balthazar himself has grabbed quite a bit of spells, ranked up, and gotten a lot of resistances and weapon strength, and a lot of armor himself. On the opposite side, Scrag is looking a little bit underpowered. Let's go into this battle. Alright, so here we are with our deployment here. So I'm going to try to put my guns here on the high ground to try to cover them. And the enemy is going to be coming through here. So if I put my cannons up at the high ground, they might have just the right angle to be able to fire down on the enemy easily. Alright. You can adjust the cannon's position by clicking and dragging. I highly suggest that when placing your big old guns. I am going to put the mortars a little bit more on the field because they can fire up and over. So I want to keep them close to the army. But the cannons in the back will do a lot. They have a lot more range, so they're going to be able to do a lot more damage farther from. So, and they're going to be more secure up there. So they're like the Alamo. So the cannons are like the last part. At the front we have our great swords, which are looking as stalwart as ever. And then on the sides we have our halberdiers, and we do have our Eldred's Guard on the other side as well with the other halberdiers. Then we have our huntsmen in the back. These huntsmen are pretty good. With 21 bonus versus large, it's going to be a nice bonus to have against ogres. And then of course we have our mortars, and we have Balthazar himself on his horse, and then his where's his captain? His captain's on his Pegasus. Alrighty, let's channel magic, see if we get lucky this time. No, we didn't. We shouldn't have done it. It's alright. We have a lot more spells, and Balthazar has access to a lot more stuff to increase our wins. Alright, so once they get into range, we're going to start opening fire. If they get into range. They may wait for their reinforcements. The AI tends to do that. So let's see if we can't entice them. Dropping a little bit of enticing spells on them. Now, here they come. There we go, that's a little bit more. Yeah, they're gonna start pushing forward now. The Ogre Bulls are still a tier 2 unit, so we're still going to face a good challenge with the Ogres here. Golden Hounds are doing a little damage, but not a whole lot. Oh, there come the mortars, though.
Take position. Take the ground. And speed. Formation, march.
I'm going to save my magic for final transmutation on Scrag.
Moving out.
We are ready.
No lingering.
I Ulrich rock. Sigma commands. To battle. Yes, sir. Sir. Take position. Quickly. Quickly.
My mind will alone.
For Heldenhammer. Spearmen. For Heldenhammer.
Balthasar Gelt. Moving faster.
Mortar. Fire. Pick your targets. Fire.
I don't want to do any
Stop.
damage to my own guys.
I am supreme.
Let's do final transmutation on Scrag. Do some damage to him.
To battle. Quick march. I am master of Shamrock.
Okay.
Sir. We are Sigma's heirs. Battle awaits. Moving now. Very well.
Alright.
Standing by. Take position. Charge.
For the Empire.
Oh, Jesus. Did not mean to do that.
Spearmen. Yes, my lord. By Ulrich's
Yeah, that's usually fighting ogres. You always have to be ready for a huge amount of like, I don't want to call them casualties, but like you're going to take casualties. Because the ogres just do so much damage that it doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter like what you have. You're still going to take damage.
Bring it down! Get down! Yes, sir! Quickly! No lingering!
Yeah, see, we're taking too many casualties because there's just so many ogres on the field. But we are taking a lot of them down too. So, again, it's not an easy fight, but it's a winnable fight. Because Scrag is so underpowered that we caught him before he got too powerful. He had only just killed the like the border princes and Talea, I think. Or no, just the border princes.
Sigmar guides us.
So he hadn't really killed all that much.
We are Sigmar's heirs. I am master of Shadow.
Great swords. Ready for war. Charge! Get them.
And that'll be their army losses. Alrighty. So that was an intense battle. Again, you know, fighting ogres, no matter what tier you are, no matter how good you are, you're gonna take some casualties. Because, you know, they're just that insane. Let's see if I can get enough for final transmutation. Probably not. I need 13.
Moving now.
Oh, well, he killed him anyway, so that's good. There's the old scraggy boy. Sitting in his own blood. Alrighty, so that was a tier 2. Let me do some magic on the campaign. We'll come back with a tier 3. We're here with a tier 3 force. Alright, so first thing you might notice, Isabella looks a little different with Vlad. He does look a little different too. I have a couple of graphic mods for them, just to make them look a bit more appealing. You know, so that's why I have that. And then for my troops, again, I have my my great swords. They've leveled up quite a bit, so they have a whole lot of armor, a whole lot of all this other stuff, because, you know, Gelt has also leveled up quite a bit. He's at level 27. And then we have some handgunners for our missile troops. We also brought a steam tank, a Luminarch of Heesh, which is really good. Balthazar buffs these guys up a lot. Like, look at that insane that insane missile strength there, because this is the Templehof Luminarch, and then this one really insane as well, and it has perfect vigor and unbreakable. 15% ward save at 179 armor. Insane. And then we have Hellstorm rocket batteries, which again are insane. The Sunmaker is insane by itself. And then we have the Hellblaster volley guns, which are also insane. We could add some of these banners on it, but I don't think we need it. We're going to go right into this fight and decimate both of these vampire stacks. Alright, and here we are with a tier 3. So this army is very, very, as you can tell, artillery heavy, as what Gelt is good at is artillery. So we brought a whole bunch of Hellblaster volley guns, which are going to do an insane amount of damage to the enemy forces, and just like insane amount of casualties they'll take before they even reach us, because, you know, some of them, in fact all of them, can actually reach the enemy before they can even get close. Now we do have the problem of the flying units. The vampires bring quite a bit of flying units, which might disrupt the artillery. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to keep the artillery shielded by the handgunners here. I feel like that'll be a better use of the handgunners to shield the artillery. And then whenever the flying threat is neutralized, then we will, you know, then we will resume putting the handgunners on the sides. Now, of course, we have our infantry force at the front, the great swords, to bog down the enemy units, which there are a lot of shambling units. Of course, the Templehof Luminarch on the side here is going to try to prioritize sniping Vlad. It's got a pretty good range, so it can snipe heroes and lords pretty easily. And then, of course, the steam tank is going to do the same thing. In fact, it's probably going to take care of the... in fact, it's probably going to take care of the more... what's the word I'm looking for? Like the Grave Guard, the more elite units. Alright, so let's start our deployment, and then start the battle. Like I said, we're going to have to keep an eye on our hailstorms because they're going to be firing first, but we don't want to have them be, taken out. So we're gonna want to make sure that the enemy flying units don't reach them and disrupt them, because that's going to be a problem. Alright, they're already starting to crumble. They're going to come on the sides as well. Yeah, they're starting to crumble. Let's see, the Luminarch, is it able to fire? Let's focus on Vlad. There's the Grave Guard, there we go. Okay.
The Empire endures! Fire! Yes, my lord! Through the cannons! Our weapons are yours!
Yeah, and then the Hellstorm, the Hellblasters are going to take care of all of these. We should actually take care of the Black Coach.
Ranging target! Pick your targets! Sir! Get them! Turns fire! Crack that machine! Sigma guides us!
Yeah, take care of these guys. Yeah.
Yes, sir! Hold and drive!
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Ready for war! Ready to engage! Moving now!
Get in there. Take that out. There we go. There we go. Take out those guys. Alright. Alright, take out Vlad. Luminarch. Yeah, get out of there.
We are Sigma Dash!
Yeah.
For the Emperor!
Take the ground!
Cannons fire! Cannons fire! Our weapons are yours! By Ulrich's wrath, we serve the Emperor! Handgunners! Fire! Fire!
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, we lost one of our Hellblasters. So that's okay. And the Vlad's almost dead. We just got to focus on Vlad. Then our Luminarch. Deal with that. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We can pretty much forget these guys. Let's do final transmutation on Vlad. Seal him in metal. Let's seal him in metal. There we go. He's dead. Vlad is gone, and so his army will follow. And there we go. And there we go. We got a little hectic there, but we were able to close him down. And like I said, you just do so much damage. Half his army was destroyed before they even came close, because we did so much damage with Gelt's. Just his Hellstorm rocket batteries are probably his best unit to use with him, because he amplifies their damage. Plus, with the technology research, by this time he's amplifying the damage on them so much that he's able to just wipe them. So Gelt is a beast for how much he buffs his artillery, and that's the key to playing Gelt. So let's wrap this up. Yeah,
I am the Supreme Patriarch.
alrighty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first Lord Guide into the massive Chad that is Balthasar Gelt, and that you guys see how insane he can be with his artillery. Artillery and war machines are the go-tos for any Gelt fan out there, because he just with this base stat and then his abilities that he earns as he levels up. He's going to be able to give the more ammo, more weapon strength, well, more missile strength, more armor, as well as resistances, like for spell resistance and missile resistance. If you combine it with Ulrika, that can be unlocked with the Empire, you can give him even more spell resistance and missile resist, as well as more some flame resist and some armor as well, and some melee defense, which always helps. And then if you combine it with with the armor effect, you're getting even more armor for your regular troops. They're going to be able to stay in the front more. So Gelt just buffs the right units. That's why he's so popular, because he just buffs the right units for the Empire, the fun units. So that's why he's so fun. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed this Lord guide here, and I enjoyed making it for you. Very fun showing you all the different. Especially the tier 3 was especially fun, because that's when all the big boy units come out. But Gelt is fun all around. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing, because I just want to give you guys the best Warhammer content and the best strategy content I can possible. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for watching, and remember to keep it strategic. Colonel out.